Resnick, he spent the day digging into the past of the father in this case, Dravon Ames, and his history with law enforcement.
That's right. Bram joins us now live with what he's finding. And this isn't the first time Dravon has had a run-in with police. Bram?
Yeah, that's right. Now we're digging into the histories of all the key people in this case to answer your questions. We're now learning Dravon Ames was charged last month with 2 felony counts of assaulting 2 police officers. I asked a leading defense attorney what role that could play in this case.
Wait.
Phoenix police officer Christopher Meyer roughing up Dravon Ames after a pursuit over an alleged shoplifting.
I promise it doesn't open. You're gonna get shot. Get your hands off.
Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams has labeled the officer's conduct unacceptable. But late last year, Ames was involved in a different kind of confrontation with cops. Court documents show Ames was charged last month with 2 felony counts of aggravated assault against 2 police officers. The charges stem from Ames' arrest about 6 in the morning last Halloween in downtown Tempe. Police said he was behaving erratically after his vehicle was involved in a collision. Ames was twisting and flailing at the officers, tried to kick one officer in the groin, and took several swings at the other. One officer said Ames tried to grab his gun. Ames was tased twice.
Family Dollar possible shoplifting.
Eastbound Roosevelt.
Defense attorney Robert McWhirter, who has no connection to the case, says it's possible Officer Meyer was informed of the charges on his way to the scene.
The officer may have known that, or he may not have. And you could maybe give the officer a little bit of extra slack if this person has an assault charge.
But McWhirter says that's not enough to support the officer's conduct.
That, however, doesn't really justify pointing guns at pregnant women or ripping children from women's arms who are sitting next to him.
Attorney Sandra Slayton is representing Ames and fiancée Aisha Harper in their $10 million claim against the city of Phoenix. Slayton told me Tuesday she is also Ames' new attorney on the aggravated assault case. Slayton's response to this story? Our client pled not guilty. He asserts his innocence. That court case was last year. That has absolutely nothing to do with this case. And Dravon Ames has a court hearing in the assault case scheduled for July. Now, there is still a lot we don't know. We still haven't heard from Officer Christopher Meyer, a 24-year veteran, and the unidentified rookie cop who backed him up during the confrontation. Let's send it back to you.